I am convinced from the perspective of my own age that not only are we extremely ignorant about the past of India as far as Indian art is concerned, but then we are not even willing to enter that area. Most people generally think this is a peripheral thing. It is not substantial. It is not central to their thinking. And I cannot regret that enough. Yeah? Visually we are brought up a more or less illiterate generation.
Right.
Yeah? Visually. I ask any young person, I'm not concerned very much with the older generation, but the young generation, and just try and ask what images can they recall. And just sitting here across the table, what images come to their mind? What will come to their mind is images of film posters, maybe sports stars, a few images of politicians. That's about it. Who thinks of the arts? When you talk to anybody about, let's say, it's too large a subject. I'm just touching the fringe of it.
Not a problem. So anything that you like to, since you understand the essence of going into the depths of a miniature painting or a picture as such, it need not be a work of art. It could be perceived or manifested as a work of art.
I sometimes speak to teachers from various schools. There's an organization in Delhi called the CCR, which gets teachers from all kinds of schools, mostly government schools, municipal schools, from the Mufassal, not big high profile schools and so on. And they come and spend nearly a month there in that organization. And they're not drawn from the area of culture. They could be teachers from mathematics, could be teachers of geography, this and that and so on. Maybe an odd teacher of the arts might also come. The whole idea is to, in a certain sense, induct them into the area of culture. What is it all about? And to the teachers, I very often ask the question, because I go and lecture to them fairly regularly.
Okay.
And I say, can you imagine, just close your eyes and imagine a world in which there is no art. No art at all. No music, no dance, no sculpture, no painting, no painting. Can you imagine a world like that? I'm not talking about classical art.
No, sir, I can't. The tree behind you is a piece of art for me.
Yeah. And it certainly excites their imagination. They start thinking about it. And I said, no, really speaking, I said, let's say there are no film songs. Yeah, let's say there is no rock music or anything like that, and so on and so on. Some teachers go to hurt, they don't know much about rock music anyhow, they can't understand. But if you think of it really seriously enough, then a world without art is virtually unimaginable. If art, therefore, is of any consequence, right, then we must take it seriously. Yeah? Then we take any of the arts. I am not saying everyone should know everything about all things and so on. So there's an impossibility. That's a fictional situation.
Ideal situation, but
anything at all. I mean, if making sort of things with your hands and in clay and so on makes a difference to your life, and you can do that, right? Or see how people have done it in the past and so on. Enter. What I was speaking about last night in my lecture I began, I said visual entity, right, at any level is an absolute sine qua non. Without that it does not function. Yeah? So, if the arts are important, whatever kind of arts, yeah, then we must take them seriously. And if we take them seriously, we will gradually find that they start changing our perspective of life. When we change as a result of an engagement with the arts. So the last evening or the evening before that, there were about 150 people in the auditorium. I think that's the size of the auditorium.
Yes, it is.
And it was full.
Yes, it was. Absolutely. There were a lot more people in the keeping. Since it was an invite-only event, I believe a few people.
Now, when they went back, I'm not talking about my lecture, I'm talking about the other event, right? The singing by Shubhendra or the dance by They took back something. It must have become some fashion or the other a part of their life. I'm not saying they're seeing a dance for the first time. I'm not suggesting for a moment that they're hearing a classical musician for the first time and so on. But we have provided a context.
Absolutely.
Right? The context in which they are forced to think about these things. They're persuaded, they're almost forced to think about these things. How much there is in it, what kind of levels of depth there are in these arts. I'm not talking about miniature painting alone, I'm not talking about, classical music alone. But the arts must necessarily, in my view, form an integral part of our beings. Not of our courses, not of our syllabi, but of our beings. Yeah? And whatever can be done, whether the Mahu Art Foundation is doing a wonderful job for what I'm able to get, and to the extent that I've involved in it, I have enjoyed it very much, learned something. Whether it is this organization or any other organization and so on, a massive, enormous effort to do a bit of a study, right? You feel silly when you go abroad and you see museums chock-a-block full of people, kids, grown-ups and everyone, taking an interest in what is going on. I mean, here, let's say in our own country, there is an obligatory trip to a museum, let's say for a school. And I've seen it with my own eyes in the several museums. The kids come, they form a line, the teachers will stand by at their side, and they start walking through the museum like this and so on. Right? Maybe looking, maybe not looking at all. And outside, other countries, I'm not speaking with any degree of conflict, but I regret the fact that we do not take this seriously enough, that there is an acculturation, right, which is needed. One of our problems, see, I am convinced of that when we look at the art of India, any art, we think this is, we are Indians, so we know everything about it.
Absolutely.
What could be more
born out of
stupid than this? What could be more arrogant than this as a point of view? We only know the surface if we do that. And what is below that surface, what riches lie there, we pay no attention to it. I'll give you an example. I ask people, with the teachers, I've made it a habit now to ask these people, and they're bright people, they've been chosen for certain reasons. आपको नेशनल एंथम आता है? हाँ। क्या है उसमें? पंजाब से गुजरात में। ऐसे व्हाट इज द लॉजिक? पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल करते हैं। आप तोते की तरह बोलते हो।
जी। आप समझते नहीं हैं।
ये तो है क्यों? Why? What is the logic? It is not all. Where does Uttar Pradesh go in this? Where does Rajasthan go? Where does Kashmir go? And so on and so on. You pronounce
Yes, sir.
Right? Have you ever applied your mind to this?
No, sir.
And most of them say,
maybe not. Yeah.
I said if you apply your mind to this, you will discover that it is the outline of it.
Absolutely. The boundaries of
is the boundary, right?
the
You
country.
start from Punjab, Sindh, Gujarat,
Northeast,
Maratha,
West.
Dravid, which kind of.
Absolutely. To make the boundaries of the
Yeah.
country.
So that is the configuration. That is why he chose. Yeah.
Brilliant. So that's something I don't think a lot of people think of
Yeah,
at all.
Hardly anybody pays attention.
10 years in school, 10 plus 2, everybody says it out, but
What I'm
nobody
saying
thinks
is
about it.
that we are easily satisfied with surface knowledge. Not knowledge, knowledge is different, information. But we make no attempt on our part to go just a little deeper and ask questions, inform ourselves, get excited by something or other. That is our problem. Anything, any organization, any individual, any group which can do something to change that
Correct.
is doing a great.
So you have put your foot on a very fundamental problem, a very ingrained problem into the admission to arts and the understanding of arts. So what would you say is probably sometimes you need a drive force to induce your interest into a particular field, such as art. So why it could be attending an event like something like the Mahua Art Gallery Foundation does, or visiting an art gallery, or even reading a book on art, or even perceiving normal daily images as works of art. So what would you say is a good manner in which to progress towards training your mind towards recognizing pieces of art or understanding
There
art?
can't be a single answer to that question.
Definitely, but
Right? It is not a monolithic thing.
yeah, true.
So one has to work at various levels. Take an example. A child wants to know something about art,
Right.
okay? Or about economics. Where does he or she go? There are no answers. Where are the books? The children's literature, right,
Correct.
as it touches the area of the arts, is non-existent. And whatever there is so badly done that it puts a child off rather than drawing in and out. Yeah?
That is true.
Now, that is something which you can do, I can do, other people can do, the government doesn't have to be involved. Right? That is that. If we acculturate teachers, if we have groups which really involve parents, for instance, and so on and so on, then right from the very beginning, some progress can be made.
Child would be nurtured in that kind of environment.
You know, once I was talking to a sports director in my university. He said something very interesting. He says, Goswamy, I said, your life can turn on any small thing. आप खड़े हैं, you watching a hockey match and you see somebody do a reverse flip like this. That can change your life. It can excite you so much. Right? That you say something, you call to people. So you really need to ignite through any means of सभी नहीं हो सकते, लेकिन ग्रेट मेनी कैन बी कम से कम not everybody is going to turn into an artist, I hope not. Right? Not everybody can turn into a musician, I hope not. Lekin just to the extent that you gain an entry into that system, equally, as a beginner. And that we don't do. We do not do. So it can be done, which is a massive undertaking that I'm speaking about. I'm not taking about it. And, but, you know, at the national level, I mean, one cries oneself, yes, ये ऐसे होना चाहिए, ऐसे होना चाहिए. But I'm beginning to see some things of change.
Some shift.
The NGOs are doing a decent work. The government is slowly waking up. Slowly. There, so obstreperous fashion, elephant like, beginning to move. All one needs
Thank you so much.